Hi guys. We're doing Unit 1, comparing and ordering numbers. So, a couple of things that I want to talk about before I get into it are the symbols. This is a less than symbol. This is a greater than symbol. So, when you're doing it, you always want the arrow to point to the smaller number and open up towards the bigger number. Another thing is the keys for your calculator. If you want to get a square root in your calculator, you want to hit the second key and x squared always. That'll bring up the square root symbol, okay? And don't forget, you're going to always want to close it with the parenthesis. Another thing I think I forgot, and that's cool, that's right there, is the parenthesis, the percent symbol. To get this up in your calculator, if you're not sure, you have to hit the second key and then the open parenthesis button. And that'll pull up a percent sign, so you enter in the number. So for this one, you'd enter in 13.6, and then you would hit second open parenthesis, and then it will put the percent symbol in your calculator. Once you do that, you hit equals, okay? So let's start. We're gonna compare pi over 2 and 1.5 repeating. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to change both of them into decimals. This one's already a decimal, but this one isn't. So to put pi over 2, to figure out what this is as a decimal, you put pi. There's a pi button in your calculator. Otherwise, you could use 3.14. So pi divided by 2. When you put that in, you should get 1.57. Okay. This right here, this means 1.5 repeating. So the 5 goes on all the time for infinity. So since this has 2 numbers after the decimal, we're just going to make this have 2 numbers after the decimal. So 1.55. Now you're comparing. Since the ones are the same, you're looking at these numbers. So you have 57 and 55. So you say, which one's bigger, 57 or 55? The 57 is. So 1.57 is greater than 1.55. Therefore, pi over 2 is greater than 1.5 repeating. So you can use your greater than symbol here. So your answer is greater than. That'll be multiple choice, A, B, C. You're going to have less than, greater than, or equal to as a choice. The correct answer here is greater than. Over here, you're going to do the same thing. If you don't know, for a percent, you move the decimal place over 2 places. So I know, looking at this, the decimal form of 13.6% is 0.136. If you didn't know how to do that, you enter 13.6 into your calculator, hit the second key, open parenthesis, equals, and that'll come up. You're turning 1 over 7 to a decimal. 1 divided by 7, you should get 0.14 blah, blah, blah. I'm going to put a 0 at the end here. All right, because there's 3 numbers after the decimal here, so I want to keep 3 here. So you say, which is bigger, 136 or 140? 140 is greater, so this is less than this, so I'm going to use my less than symbol. Okay, so that's my answer right here. That's how you compare. You change them to decimals. Same thing with least to greatest. We have 2 over 5, 28%, 4 over 11, and 0.46. So I'm going to take the numbers 2 over 5 and change that to a decimal, which is 0.4. 28% as a decimal. Remember, we're moving it over 2 places, or you could use your calculator. So here's a decimal, 2 places is 0.28. 4 over 11. Oops, sorry, I'm looking through the phone and not through on my paper. 4 over 11 is 0.4 repeating. So I'll just put 0.44 because this has 2 places. And 0.46 is just that. It doesn't change. I'm going to write that there, 0.46. Okay, that's that. Now, All of these have 2 numbers after the decimal, so I'm going to put a 0 here, just a placeholder. So you're looking at here, the smallest number up here, you have 40, 28, 44, and 46. So the smallest number up here is 28, so this one will go first. The second smallest is 40, third is 44, and fourth is 0.46. So you want to put them back into the original form, especially if it's multiple choice. So 28% is the smallest. The second smallest is 2/5. Next smallest is 4/11, followed by 0.46. Sorry. Okay. Sometimes if it's least to greatest, it could be written as 28% is less than 2/5 is less than 4/11, which is also less than 0.46. Okay? Same thing here. If we're doing least to greatest, we have 2.2 repeating, which is 2.2222222. So I'll just put 2 2s just to be safe. 11/5, if you put that in your calculator, is just 2.2. Oops, sorry. I'm going to put a 0 at the end here. Square root of 7 is the next number. Square root of 7 is 2.6. I'm going to put a 0 at the end. And of course 2.1 stays as 2.1. I'm going to add a 0 at the end. Okay. So we're comparing them. They're all starting with 2s. So I'm looking at 22, 20, 60, and 10 for the smallest number. So the smallest number is 10, so this will go first. The second number would be 20, so this one will be second. 22, and then 60. And you're going to do the same thing as you did here, putting them back into the original form. Next, it asks, which of the following inequalities is true for all real values of x? Remember I talked about this. I don't like to see it so abstract like this, so I'm going to pick a numerical value. And I told you, the numerical value that you're going to want to pick here is going to be x equals 10. On your quiz, on your test, pick x equals 10. So I'm going to substitute 10 in for all of these numbers. You do it like this. So you have 5 parenthesis 10 to the second power minus 2 less than or equal to 4 times 10 to the second power minus 3. If you to enter this into the calculator just like this, you get 490 is less than or equal to 388, which is not true. So A is not going to be our answer. B, you have the square root of 3 times 10 to the second power is less than or equal to 3 times 10 to the second power. The next one you have 2 times 10 all to the third power. Remember, you're using to put this in your calculator, the up arrow to get the 3. 4 times 10 to the second power. And the last one in your calculator, you're going to put 3 square root of 10 squared less than or equal to 10 over 2. So this right here will give me 30 is less than or equal to 5. I could do that one in my head, so that's what I did. I could also do this one in my head. This gives me 8,000 is less than or equal to 400. And this one gives me 17.3 less than or equal to 300. So we already talked about this not being true. This is true. 17.3 is less than or equal to 300. Let me just make sure. 8,000 is not less than or equal to 400, and 30 is not less than or equal to 5. So this one is our answer. So remember, use 10 to substitute it in. And finally, you're going to be given a bunch of numbers. You're asking which inequality, comparing the two of the expressions, is true when x is between 0.1 and 0.5. So you have to take 0.1 and substitute it in for x, and then do the same thing for 0.5. So when x is 0.1, I'm going to take that and substitute it in there. So 3 times 0.1, that gives me 0.95. 3 times 0.1 squared. That'll give me 0.03. 3 over 2 times 0.1. That'll give you 15. And finally, you have 0.1 over 3. And you get 0.0... I can't read my... Oh, 3 repeating. Okay. Do the same thing for 0.5. Great, my kids are getting a little restless, sorry. 0.5, that'll give me 2.12. Hi, honey. What do you want? What do you want?
Yes.
Yeah, you could have that.
I have it?
Yep, that's yours.
That's mine?
Yeah, you want it?
Yep.
Hi. Gotta take it. That was Daddy's, but he said you could have it. And then you have 3 over 2 times 0.5, which is 3. And last you have 0.5 over 3, which is 0.16 repeating. Okay. So now you take these values here and you substitute them in to your given inequalities. So the first one is 3x squared. So 0.95, this is for A, is greater than 0.03. B, which is not true. B says x over 3, so 0.03 repeating is greater than 0.03, which is, so if I added another 3 here, and the next number here would be 0, because that's repeating. That's true. So it could be B. And you go to C. X over 3, which is 0.03 repeating, greater than 3 over 2x, which is 15, which is not true. And 3x, or times the square root of x, so 0. Gia, could you answer her?
What?
Is greater than
Well,
your
see
address.
what the temperature is, because I don't know if I should wear pants or not.
15. Well, this one actually worked out nicely. The only one that is actually true here is B.
No,
Oh, geez. So actually B will be your answer. If it gave you more than one correct answer here, you would have to do it for 0.5. All right, and that's a wrap.